President of the North Sydney Rugby League Football Club, David Hill.
It's with some sadness that I have to confirm that yesterday the New South Wales Rugby League advised us that the Australian Government Analytical Laboratories on testing a urine sample taken on Tuesday at training here at North Sydney, that Scott Wilson provided a positive result. In all the circumstances, we have now advised Scott Wilson last night that he can no longer play rugby league with the North Sydney club.
That's David Hill making the announcement to a packed media gallery that Scott Wilson had returned a second positive drug result. Well, I caught up with David Hill after the media conference to speak further on the situation and suggested he'd be very disappointed with the results of Scott Wilson's tests.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it's fair to say very disappointed. We were happy to give the boy a chance. He's a very nice young fella and a very talented footballer. And after the incidents at Souths, we, as I said, we're happy to give him a chance. So yeah, we're very disappointed that we've got a second positive swab.
Now Scott, obviously has been sacked by the club. Is there any chance of him ever playing for the Bears again?
I think the future of Scott Wilson is entirely in the hands of Scott Wilson. We don't want him to play here in the circumstances. If he was genuinely and fair income prepared to submit to supervised drug counselling from now on and through the off-season, and later to subject himself to regular random testing at the behest of the league and the club, then perhaps his football career is not totally destroyed.
David, you showed a degree of compassion towards Scott in the media conference this morning. Do you feel let down though at all?
Oh, it's probably, I don't know if that's the word. I'm very disappointed and very saddened. But can I say so is he? I mean, he's absolutely devastated by it, and I think everybody is just very sad, and it's a bad day for league, but it's much worse for Scott Wilson.
And the test took place on Tuesday, and he was alerted, Monday morning, and he showed no signs of concern then?
He was told on Monday morning. In fact, I think they wanted to do it on Monday, but he couldn't make it on Monday. And so he knew it, and he was advised that the test would be done when he arrived at training on Tuesday afternoon, and he arrived at training on Tuesday afternoon and took the test. And we got advice yesterday afternoon that the Commonwealth testing laboratories, the Australian Government testing laboratories, had revealed a positive result to that sample.
So, David, what words of advice would you have for Scott Wilson?
I've already discussed the matter with him, but as I said yesterday, the discussions between he and I and the club and him are confidential between us.
North's President David Hill after the media conference. Now to North's coach Steve Martin on his reaction to the news of Wilson's positive test.
Well, I'm disappointed, very much so, for Scott Wilson. We gave him a chance a few weeks ago. He had some problems with another club. He was a good young player, and we thought he deserved another chance. And if it happened again, I'd certainly do the same thing.
So plenty of sympathy for Scott?
Very much so, yes.
And again, Steve Martin now on the policy on drugs that the North Sydney club has.
We don't have a problem. We have a very healthy attitude here at North Sydney. We don't condone in any shape or form drug taking in any form at all. And we won't have a player at this club that's got a problem with it. I feel sorry for Scott Wilson. We gave him a chance and it hasn't worked out for him.
Steve Martin, so Ray, that was the shock news to come out of North Sydney Oval this morning.
Andrew Moore, you've done particularly well, as I mentioned earlier.